Hello, good day everyone. Jonathan here. We're back again to our Zoom Python masterclass. The other day, I was discussing. We saw how we can install um, Python and how and demonstrated how you can use it using the command line. Okay. A recap. We visited the site python.org, and through the downloads we're able to download the latest version 3.8.5, and after download using Clement system, that was one of the participants online. We installed and we saw and I took us through how we install. After installation, we were able to use it on his system, and we switched back to my system. If you followed us, you can go ahead and type Python, and this will take you into the Python environment. But like we said that day, if you had Python 2 point something or lower version before, Python as a command might not work for you. It might open up the lower version. But if that is the case, you type Python 3 together. Okay, so I'm already in the Python environment, so go out. I said we'll press Ctrl Z on our keyboard and press enter key. That will take you outside. So assuming I have such thing as lower version, all I need to do is to type Python 3, and that will take me, okay, you can type py hyphen space hyphen 3. That will take you into your Python environment, and I demonstrated how we can do some mathematical operations using the value the way we saw it on the Python site. Okay, that is the documentation. So if you scroll down, actually using the tutorials, you will see several things, whether you are what's your appetite using the Python, this is argument passing. Okay, so we can do so much using the that will quickly go ahead and show us one or two things. We said you can say 2 plus 3. I will give you 5 if you press the enter key, and you can say 5 or 6 minus, that is the plus or minus sign key on your keyboard is what you will use. Okay, that will give you 3. And I also said that you can make use of variables. Okay, assuming I type C or X, I can give it a value to hold, say 34. It means you are assigning the value 34 to X. And I said we can refer to this X alphabets as when used in this form as variables. Okay, they are mainly called identifiers. We use X, for instance, to identify the position of 34 in the memory of the system. So it mustn't be just X, because we could spell out a word and use it as a variable. So I can use Z is equal to 4, for instance. Okay, so I can decide to print out Z, then it's showing me that it's 4. Print out X, showing me For the newer versions of Python, you can just type the variable and press enter. It will show you the value inside. But if it doesn't work for you, go ahead and type print, open parentheses and put x and close. By the time you press enter, it will print 34 for you. But instead of going through this long route, you just type x and press enter key. So that is it. But actually, I've not done anything with all these variables that I've typed. So what can I do? Just like you doing with your calculator, you can perform division, mathematical operations on these variables. Okay, note that it is not on the variable itself, but the value which it holds in the memory of the system. For instance, I can say Zen divide by, that is your forward slash on your keyboard. You use it as a division. Divide by x. If I press enter key, to give me the value. Okay, sorry. It should be the other way around. X divide by Zen. That was what I wanted to say to do. So that will give you 8.5. Okay. All right. We can go ahead and clear our screen. Like I said, for a total beginner, somebody that is switching from one environment to programming, assuming you never did anything programming before, please look for a tutorial on command line, command line tutorials that will show you the basic command lines that you should know, like creating a directory, like clearing the screen, like what I'm doing now. But if you don't want, if you follow me attentively, you can also gain the basic commands that you need to um, uh, go on with your follow up with us. Okay. So I can't clear my screen because I'm in a Python environment. So to go out of the Python environment, like I said, you press Ctrl C, press enter. That will take you out of it. So on your command, on your CM, on your root directory, if you type CLS, which stands for clear screen, press your enter. It will clear your screens for you to see what you're doing or continue afresh. All right, thank you so much. So that is it for Python. And like I said, we are not here for theory. We are not here for computer history. You can read up the materials on them. But I am here to show you how you can start making money online by building websites. Okay, so I've given us the foundations. For you to build a website, like I said, you have to use a framework attached to this your to Python, and the framework that we are going to use is called REST, Flask. And there are other frameworks that are available like Django, but I want us to use this make it simple and use by using Flask. Okay, so for your Flask to read up or for us to follow up, I can visit a, the site. Okay, this is where you have a tutorial on it. Okay, but I'm not gonna. Okay, for the site, you can just Google out Python Flask or just Flask, and that will bring up um, the site for you. Okay, so I'm gonna click on the first one, which tells us more about Flask. So we have configuration and conversions. You have Python versions. You have dependencies, visual environments. Okay, then install Flask. All right. So when you need pip to do that. When you have installed your Python, okay. Unfortunately, I can get access to um clear my system to do a demo afresh because I already have people installed on my system. Okay, so okay, but if you don't have people on your system, you can get in touch with me, okay, so that I can we can walk through that. But I believe you should have it if you install the current version of Python. Um, okay, so we are going to install Flask. Like I said, Flask helps you. Flask is what you can use to build your website, and it's a powerful one in for that matter. But before that, we need to set up an environment. There are some explanations here on how you can set up your environment. To do that, to create a folder in our system. Um, but like in my command line, I'm on the root directory, which is your C folder. Okay, going back to this place, that is my C. Okay, can go ahead and create a project. But I already have a project folder. In it, I'm going to create another folder called tutorial. But okay, I have tutorial. Okay, tutorial. Okay, Python master class. Okay, that should be to it. So here, the command, like you can see from the Flask um, um, website, is mkdir. So that is a basic C Windows DOS command to create a directory. So it is actually called make directory. Okay, so you go ahead and give your directory a name. So we'll say I'm going to call this Python master class. Okay, PMC. So I'll press enter. This has been created. When you go back to your C drive, you will see the folder. Oh, sorry, I created it outside C. You will see a folder called PMC, but this is not where I want it. I wanted it in the project folder. Okay, so it's there in the project folder. Now, what are you? PMC. All right, so I was supposed to navigate into the um, project folder before giving that command. All right, so I'm gonna go into the project folder now. How do you go into a folder? But cd the project the folder's name, and this case is called project. So I will navigate into the PMC folder, cd pmc. Okay, now I'm into, so see that my directory address or link is getting longer, so that tells you I'm inside C roots folder, project folder, and then PMC. So PMC is inside the project and project inside C drive. All right, so we are going to look up the next action once we are inside our project name. So go ahead and give this command: Python hyphen m v e m v v m v. What this does is that it's going to create an environment for you to work with. Okay, it's going to create an environment for you to use. It is mandatory that you do that. So this is how you can do it on Windows. Okay, so for you that has lower version of Python that needs to differentiate it and let your system know that you're working with Python 3, you go ahead and give py-3 to work with. But I'm gonna do it straight because I'm gonna use Python straight because it works on my system that way. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do that. Python install, sorry, install visual environment. Well, I'm gonna use Python hyphen 3 venv. Okay, venv. All right, unknown. Sorry, I'm contradicting myself. I don't need that. Python can't open file this. Error, no such file directory. Python hyphen okay. So I missed out that hyphen m, so it's going to take time and create virtual environment for us to work with. So as soon as this is done, I'm gonna call that folder up for us to see what has happened. So it's done. So go back to your PMC folder, open it. You can see that we have a virtual environment set up. So why is this necessary? Why don't we go ahead and start working or building our project immediately? So this is important. It is important for you to create a virtual environment so that every file you're working with is put together. And when you share this work with your teammates, um, they can they will be able to set it up on their system immediately because everything is in one folder, and then start working with as well instead of starting afresh to do installation and all those. Okay, so I'm done with the environment setting, but then you will need to activate your environment. Okay, so the command to do that on Windows is this. We are gonna give it and give that command in order to activate the environment we are going to work with. The system cannot find the path specify. All right, so what did I specify there? Okay, something is missing. um Visual, okay. Okay, I didn't get that ready. Okay, all right. So let me do this visual VMV. Okay, oh, visual, 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 visual. All right, thank you. Visual ENV is not recognized. Um, So to activate, we just key in, like is stated here, vmv scripts activate. So we use that to activate our um, visual environment. And if you come to your PMC folder, the VENV environment that will just show, you can see the scripts there, and then you can see the activate, okay, script there. So once that is done, our environment is activated for us to work with. Okay, all right. Sorry, the command is not working. All right, so it's activated for us to work with. The next thing is to open our work in an a visual environment. Okay, because what we are using now is a command line, and we will not be comfortable working all along in a command line. So I'm gonna introduce another application that we can use to do that. It is called Integrated Development Environment, IDE. So that is the um, um, package that we'll be using to write our codes. Okay, in your system you have the notepad, you know, stuff you can as well use to um, write your code. But notepad, like we all know, is not for rich text. So and this might not be clear to us to work with. Okay, so I'm gonna close this. So it's better we install something that will help us to um, identify our codes, give us opportunity to complete codes instead of you typing everything. That is called IntelliSense. So okay, and I like some functions for you. Okay, um, identify your variables and you know the system identifier that you are not supposed to work with. Okay, and classes and all those. So there are so many of them there. IntelliJ, PyCharm. Okay, Visual Studio for those of us that are doing C sharp. You have a NetBeans for Java. Okay, Java Beans and others. So but there is this one Microsoft developed recently, and it's so powerful. You can use it for so many programming languages. So that's what I would recommend. It's called Visual Studio Code. So you go ahead and hit the download it for your system. Okay, it works for Windows 7, Windows 8, and Windows 10. Okay, so as soon as you click on this, it downloads. You know the way we installed our Python setup when we downloaded it. The same way, follow the same route. Click on install and click next until you're done. And once you are done, you go ahead and load it. So I won't be demonstrating that because I already have it in my system. So I'm gonna click um, and open a new window. Okay, this is actually how it looks, the Visual Studio Code. Okay, so I'm gonna be stopping here. In the next part, I will take us through it. I will do a little introduction to this and open our code. We can actually open our code now. Click on open folder. Okay, you go to the C drive where you have your code project, and we'll look out for I'm gonna open it as a whole. Select folder, and now we'll open up our code. Okay, so there you see it. You have the visual environment, and you're good to go. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here for now, and let you grab all that we have said. And as soon as you're done that, go ahead and watch the next part. Okay, thank you. Any question, you can ask any question, you can comment. Please remember to like and subscribe to this channel so that as soon as I upload the next um, part, you will get notification. Okay, remember to click the notification button, and with that you are always on time